Hey, what's up, TikTok? You know what I realized is that people in my life who ever, let me go, whether it was from a position and or with consideration of work, is because they couldn't handle me. That's the reality. And, I respect the fact that leaders know when it's time to let go of a person, because if they hold on to a person that they don't know how to handle, then that's a person that they will most likely mismanage. And so when someone really has greater set before them and they know that they've been created for something great, then that means allowing them that space in order to express their greatness. And I find that sometimes when leaders hold on to people and they don't allow them to grow and to develop and to be greater, that sometimes it's because of the leader's insecurities, because of the leader hoping that the person can't outgrow them when they see the potential of the person is greater than where they are, rather than seeing it as a positive. Because the reality of the situation is that each generation is supposed to get better. Each generation is supposed to have a better life. Each generation is supposed to be wiser. Otherwise, why pass on the wisdom, the strength, the knowledge, the information? Why pass on the information? Why pass on the scripts from generation to generation, except for the perspective of, for each generation and legacy to be better than the previous generation? That's the point. And so when someone is in a position and they don't allow someone space in order to be greater, then that's a concern with regards to the leadership. Now, there are certain things that we can always work on. But I also am this particular person, like, especially when people say something, it's like, if they tell me, well, make sure that you're aware of your experience. You won't know any better because you haven't experienced that. But then they try to give a suggestion with consideration of something that they don't implement in their own life, which means that they don't experience what they're trying to tell me that I should do. This can sound hypocritical at times. At the same time, I will accept the information contingent upon who it is, because I know that the information will make me better, greater, the best I can be at that particular stage and phase and season of my life. Because for each season and for each level requires a greater, better, best of me. And so I'm willing to show up as my better and best self. But I also understand that leadership only battles with those whom are subordinates when they see the subordinate has the potential to be greater than who they are. And sometimes leaders are given positions just because of posterity, and it has nothing to do with their actual experience. I'm not saying that with consideration of the majority of the leaders that I've had, but I've had recently just some leaders that were not prepared to lead, were novices themselves. I had greater experience than they had. And so life continues on. My hope is that for each person who wants to lead, that you would at least hear the people whom are leading you, and also not misuse and abuse the people that you are supposed to be leading. Because if you're a leader of people and you'd rather play with the people than lead the people, then that makes you an abusive leader. Period. Pooh. Have an excellent day. Happy Sunday.